welcome to Aligned and Alive. I am the host, Dr. Colleen Norris. I am a network spinal chiropractor. I have an office in Newbury, Mass. And I am so excited to be here today. I'm going to introduce my guest in a minute, but I want to just share just briefly why I'm doing this series. It's called Aligned and Alive for a reason, because I believe at this point in our like where we are in the world that the best thing we can do is do the work within ourselves to release anything that is no longer true for us, to show up as our most authentic selves. And I think from that place, we really can be a light in the world and just inspire others and just have raise the vibration of the planet and what's possible for ourselves and others through the inner work we do with ourselves. And that is what I do in my office here. I do a kind of chiropractic that is a light touch, no cracking technique where it helps the body unwind patterns of tension so you can really show up as your most true self and let go of the things from the past that may have been holding you back. So, I want to introduce a guest here, Jennifer Caron. I am so excited to have her here. She's going to start us off. Um, Jen was one of the very first patients I started working with when I started learning network back in 2020. But let's start your journey, Jen, when you came in the office in January of 2024. Can you give us just a little bit about what was going on in your life at that time?
Absolutely. So that is when I started with continual care with Colleen. And when I started in January, I had just unexpectedly lost my mother at the age of 62. My
Mm.
house, a week before her death, had completely flooded, damaging the entire house and costing about $200,000 worth of renovation. So it was a complete rebuild. And this is on top of just everyday life, being a working mom, commuting an hour and a half one way, twice a day, and everything else that goes into just being a woman. And I really was in such an awful state of grief. I was living life, woe is me. Why is this my story? And I just felt like I couldn't get out of this rut I was in. I was so depressed and needed to try something different, needed to really try to heal completely from the inside out.
Yeah, I remember how tender you were when it was, it was. Um, First of all, it was such an honor that you came back in the office. And so let's start with, what did you start to okay, so you shared about where you were when you first came in.
Mhm.
As we started with care, and I remember initially when you were like, Colleen, there's no way I can come in twice a week. I don't have the time. I can't do it. I can't, which totally makes sense, right? Because you're busy, you're working, mom, professional, all of these things. But when you started under regular care, what did you start to notice?
So when I first started, I would walk in, I feel like crying. I would be hysterical during my session and leave in tears because we went all the way back. I mean, we went back to, okay, we're going to start from square one and heal you completely. We're not just going to put a band aid on the situation that's occurring at this present time. And it was draining on top of everything else. And but what I started to notice was things started clicking in my head. Things started making sense, and I it really was exciting to make these correlations and to really just leave your office and realize that the power was in my hands. I You were able to really help bring me out of the state that I was living in. I was on the verge. I truly was, I mean, completely in fight or flight, on the verge of panic attacks at every point and trying to hide it from the world. I never wanted to burden anyone. I grew up you know, as a people pleaser, and it made me feel like I didn't have a voice. I shouldn't I should be thankful for what I had. Why wasn't I more in love with the life that I had and had built? And it became addicting to feel good and to feel. I mean, with each visit, I would just feel such relief and leave in such a calm state, which was completely an archaic, I mean, or just bizarre feeling because for probably about 40 years, I've just lived as an anxious, nervous person.
Right. And you just, it sounds like you thought that that's like was quote unquote normal, or like that's maybe who you were.
Exactly. And then having postpartum depression, having doctors, just medicate you, which I'll be completely honest, I still I'm down to a very small dose of, Zoloft, but I've been able to come down and, it's nothing like it used to be. I walk around now with such a sense of calmness, and understanding, and I'm not afraid to go after what I want. And it's so liberating and empowering.
I love it. Yes. Yeah. And so it's so common, right? And again, when I was working with Jen, it was all about her nervous system. It was all about where in her system was the opening to start to shift out of fight or flight and into a different state, so that she could start healing, so that her body could start healing, and so she could start seeing things from a different perspective.
Yep. Absolutely. I mean, I grew up with grandparents and hate to throw them under the bus, but they were pretty, you know, honest, unfiltered. And I grew up in a household where, negativity was a thing with a lot of things. And, I kind of adopted that sense of the woe is me and, just never looking at the positives, thinking that, just bad things happen and I would always dwell on the actual bad things. I never saw the good. And as I started going through all these traumas and major life events, I started realizing, okay, going to talk to you about these things, I was able to sit back and say, okay, yes, I lost my mom, but what has, transpired since losing her? And for me, it was right away, I realized, wow, my father, my brother, and I now are closer than we've ever been. I have this bond that I just never knew could even exist. And that
Wow.
was my first realization. I just remember exactly where I was, how I felt, and how I felt inside. And from there, it just really snowballed. And I noticed with my visits, I mean, now I'm at the point 2 years in where I don't cry ever. I get excited. I almost run in and I sit up feeling even more relaxed than I already am. And I'm so excited. And I do find the time to get there because I see how valuable it is. I go out into the world with such a different perspective and such an open heart, which is just never the way I was before. And
Mm.
it's just, I'm a different mom. And I can honestly say, I give my kids these, lessons on you can either decide to be negative and you're choosing that path. You do have
Yes.
a choice. You can open your heart and look at this world differently. And it's amazing what you can manifest. I am living proof of that with what I've accomplished in the last 2 years of my life.
Yeah, and what I love is that, like, you didn't you didn't bypass the feeling part, because that's what I see. So what can get people really stuck is that, sometimes either people will stay stuck in the negative, or they'll go to this like false positivity where they'll pretend that they're going to see like the gems and things, but yet they're not feeling the hard stuff, and you didn't bypass that. And I think that that's one of the reasons, um, that you have had such an amazing transformation, because you felt those hard things. You felt the grief, you felt the loss, the anger, the rage, the sadness. You didn't bypass any of those things because your nervous system was expanding its capacity to be able to feel those hard things. But then the beautiful thing about that is it also expands in the other direction of being able to feel the amazing things.
Absolutely. And at first, when you told me that, I don't know if I truly believed you and wanted to sit and terrible feelings because I had already been feeling terrible, but it was so different because it was
Mm.
very specific to a particular point in my life each time. And, before growing up, it's always, you're fine, just move on. It's not a big deal. You'll get over it. That's not the case. I've truly learned you can't just sweep emotions and feelings under the carpet. It's not going to work. And I would absolutely get in the car on my drive home and listen to 90s rage, music on the way home. And I mean, I already was working out an hour and a half, 2 hours a day before I saw you, thinking, okay, I'm doing what I can. I'm working out and, I'm meditating, I'm doing all these things, and just nothing worked. And,
Mm.
you know, being able just to physically feel the relief after sessions with you was life changing.
That's that's amazing. And it's, you know, here's the thing is that going to the gym, there's so many things that are great for anxiety or for great that when you're going through like when you've lost a loved one, and all of the things that you mentioned are wonderful things. However, if if your nervous system is not able to learn new strategies and able to get out of that fight or flight, then it's like it could help you temporarily, but it's going to be like a band-aid. It's not going to get to the root cause of
Mhm.
what some of those things are. Okay, so as these things started changing, and as you started to have this snowball effect in the best way possible, where you started feeling good and then you started seeing things from a different way, what did you start to notice as those changes happened within you? What started changing in your outer life?
Everything from my friends to my love life to my job, you name it. It gave me feeling calm, allowed me to have a clear mind to make important decisions that I wanted. And no longer did I feel guilt about anything, guilt about choosing what was best for me when it came to my job, my kids, my love life, everything. And slowly, as I started making these life changing decisions, I mean, just one of the, at, I was going through a divorce, lost my mom, and was rebuilding a house all at the same time. And so many people were telling me, slow down, you're going through too many things, you can't keep making new decisions. Why are you moving to New Hampshire? Why did you get a dog? Why are you, just moving at such a fast pace? And I think, you know, I was able to realize life is up to me.
Mm,
If I want to be happy, I need to make decisions that are in my best interest, that I feel in my heart. And once I started doing that, again, that became addicting, just like going to you.
mm,
I was addicted to the way I felt, so calm, so at ease, so content, so sure of myself. I mean, when you follow your heart, there's no noise in your head. No, that noise completely is gone. I mean,
mm.
I can't tell you, like, at first when my mom passed away, unfortunately, it's through major events you find out who your true friends are in life.
Yeah.
And there were a few people that I absolutely thought were going to show up that did not. And that just killed me inside. That was so hard to know these friendships I had worried so much about for 20 years and tried to maintain and work at. And to find out that I clearly wasn't a priority in their life at the very least. And that was really hard for me. And now I'm at the point where after my mom passed, I decided to leave my 18-year marriage. And again, the judgment from people, the comments, there were so many people that I thought were going to be by my side and they weren't. But this time around, I didn't care. It was a positive. To me, that was dead weight. If
Mm,
I was able to see the situation so much more clearly as, you know what, these people were put in my life apparently for a specific reason, and they're not going to be part of this next chapter, and that's okay. I do not need people who are going to judge me and base their relationship with me on my marriage. So that significant change it was just, again, proof that I had become such a different person, and in my opinion, a better person. I stayed at a job because it was comfortable. It
Mhm.
was good money. It was what it was. I was scared to make a change for so long. And then finally I said, you know why? What's the worst that's going to happen? I'm just, you know, as, you know, unsatisfied as I am now. And I took, again, another leap. So it ended up being actually one of the best decisions I've ever made. I'm so happy, and it's still a snowball where I'm just going through life and things literally keep getting better. And I truly believe when you look at life in a positive way, because you physically can, and you've dealt with all your past traumas. And I think that's something that's important to, really focus on too, is that in your care, we talk a lot about trauma, and trauma doesn't have to be, I think a lot of people look at it as like a major car accident or a death of someone, but trauma is just simply, it can be unhealthy patterns that are repeated. So once
Yes.
you you retrain your brain, you rewire your brain, you can deal with these traumas that are going to come up and triggers. And I do believe, and through your care, the universe does give you these triggers. And if you don't deal with them, they keep showing up in different people and different events. And if you don't have the tools to deal with it, you're going to spend your entire life trying to fight these. And now there's nothing that truly scares me. I know I have the tools. I know I'm in a physical state that I can, a healthy place where I can take on anything. And that right there has alleviated so much anxiety in my everyday life.
I love it. I love it. It's so powerful because so often, and I think just this is really supported in our society, that when we're in a situation like a job, for example, and we're not happy, it's like we've been almost like programmed to like want that thing outside of us to change. Oh, if that person was different, or if that person was did something different. But here's the thing, like you said, when we focus on that, then we just keep things just keep showing up
Hmm.
in sometimes in different people. So instead, what you did is, oh, let me look within myself and let me see what I need to change. And if I'm remembering correctly, a big piece of this for you was getting out of that people pleasing pattern and really going to a place of like, I am worthy of what I really want.
Hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't need outside approval. I don't need someone else to give me permission to do something anymore. I'm taking that back for myself.
Yeah. Talk about liberating. I mean, it's was 43 plus years of that. And now I wake up excited for each and every day. I mean, I truly have been in some very deep, dark places throughout my life with postpartum depression and losing my mom. And you just get stuck thinking, okay, this is life. This is just how it is. Everyone, must go through this and this is normal, but it's not. It really is just society and how there's so many pressures put on us. And this need to just want to, you know, medicate and not do the work. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. Like I said, I still, do both therapies, but
Yeah.
it's just amazing that you can really, truly do the work to feel good all on your own. And it's just about rearranging your energy and your nervous system.
Yeah, I mean, so much has changed for you, like you've already shared. If you could share with the people watching, what is it that you think, like in your own words? Because of course I can talk about what network, what the kind of practic I do, like what it does and things like that. But like in your own words, what do you think? How do you think care was most helpful for you?
I have to be honest. I was in the beginning not sure what it truly was, this kind of care. I had searched
Mhm.
online, and I had seen that some athletes had turned to it when they couldn't find any relief with orthopedic surgeries, and I mean, some major injuries. And I remember coming to you and thinking that, you know what, I'm just desperate. I'll do anything. And this is back in 2020.
Mhm.
And just being so shocked at how, you know, when you go to a regular chiropractic appointment, it is manipulative, it can be uncomfortable. And when you told me to try this new form, I mean, it's so relaxing, it's enjoyable when you do get over the stage of dealing with major traumas. But yeah, I don't miss the crying days and, you know, going through a box of tissues in one session. But, you know, it is just life changing. And I am so thankful to have found you and to be living my best life. It truly is. I mean, I meet people and I talk to friends and they say, I've never seen you so happy. You literally can manifest joy. And at first, I'd kind of laugh at that and think, not really sure. I just, you know, am who I am. And now I really believe it. I do. I mean, there has been nothing that I've gone after in this last year that I haven't been able to somehow manifest. Um, and now it's so exciting that I'm trying to teach my kids it. I'm trying to, you know, show them what life can be like. And, you know, with one of my children being a teenager who's, you know, overwhelmed with sports and school and just, you know, in that puberty stage where everything's negative. And I feel so much more equipped to deal with have the conversations, the hard conversations with him, having these tools and knowing what to say, how to say it, and to try to keep, you know, him on track. So it's just
Mm.
given me so much confidence in literally everything I do.
Yeah, and share just a little bit about the job and where you are and, what shifted in the job that you have now.
So, and it is amazing how the universe does give you what you want. I feel like when you need it. Um, the day I purchased my new house, I got a call from my recruiter, and I wasn't really actively looking for a job because I had basically kind of given up after years of applying here and there. And it just so happened a role opened up 20 miles from my house for more pay, better benefits, and it just, you know, coming into this new opportunity, I have the most amazing team. My peers are amazing. I have the greatest boss I've ever had. I mean, it's just better than I ever could have imagined. And I am so lucky and thankful. And my husband says to me now, I'm just worried you're not going to come home one night because you're just so happy at work. And that's really just who I am. Like, yeah, I have bad days and work does suck at times and some projects I don't want to do, but you know, you're able to look past that. You're able to see there's an end to any kind of struggle you're going through,
Mm,
because you can think clearly. And that's just what it always comes back down to is your body is in a state to where you can think clearly and get through anything and realize it's not the
mm,
end of the world. You know, I'm every girl, or I shouldn't say that, but you know, we can be dramatic as can boys, but nothing is ever, I feel like, that bad. Or there's just, you can really turn any situation into a positive and, you know, grow from it and become better. So that's how I look at trauma now is it's just a
mm,
way to again prove yourself, to get stronger, get better, and you know, spread that to others around you and make them see it. So that's where I'm at now. I feel like in my journey with you is, you know, to
mm,
keep working on becoming just a better version of what I already am. And this is nothing to do with being conceited, or it's just literally about feeling good and going after what you want. And I just truly want my kids to feel this way and be confident in themselves and go after whatever it is that they desire.
Yeah, I mean, I really feel like what you were able to do is take a very, very difficult situation, if we go back to where you were when you came in January of 2024, right at the grief, losing your mom unexpectedly. You were able to take that experience and really go deep in yourself and
Yeah.
use almost like you using that experience to grow and evolve
Yeah.
into the person maybe that you've always wanted to be or you always were truly deep down, but there was just some stuff kind of in the way. Um, and I think that's when we're our most powerful, and I think you're like a living example of that, of taking the hard things, taking the things, and really being able to look at the things within yourself that you wanna change that are being reflected in this hard thing, and to, like, take the bull by the horns and do all everything you need to do to come out a better version of yourself.
And you hold me accountable. There have been many times, and well, I should say before I sought your care, I did not have thick skin at all. I did not want to hear constructive criticism. I took it
Mm,
as, okay, I'm not perfect and I need to be perfect and this is not okay. And now you're always so nice about it, but you'll say, maybe it's because, and I'm like, just say it. You're right. Like, I'm terrible at that, or I need to work on that. And it's so, that part is liberating as well, just to be able to, look you in the eye and be like, I can so do better. Yes, this is a trigger. We need to work on this. And just being accountable. Like, I hold
mm.
myself accountable now and I don't let myself run and hide. And
Yes,
that in and of itself is such a good feeling. Just taking accountability and working on, we all have flaws and that's okay, and I'm now in a place where I can accept my flaws, and we all have them, and it's just how you deal with it and move forward and learn. Everything is a learning experience.
absolutely, and from that mindset, really, there are no mistakes because it's
Mhm.
if everything's learning, then the mistakes are actually not a flaw.
Yep.
They can lead to our greatest growth. And I always my mindset is I want to serve at the highest level for whoever's standing in front of me. So
Mhm.
if I see something that is whether it's a pattern or whatever, I'm gonna say it because I would be doing a disservice to you, if I didn't, if I sugarcoated something or if I kind of just danced around it or didn't mention it at all, because I want you to succeed. I want you to succeed as most as to your highest level. And we can't wrap up here without you mentioning your new, what I shouldn't say, the other very exciting part of your personal life that has transpired.
That I'm remarried.
Yes.
Yes, I am so beyond lucky to have found the love of my life and someone who, I don't believe opposites attract. I am a firm believer in that now, and I found someone who cherishes me, and I'm lucky enough to have been close friends for 8 years, and what we've accomplished together. He challenges me intellectually, and it's just pure magic. It's like the universe just, when we're together, it's this magnetic field. So everyone in my life has noticed it. It just feels good to have a true partner who supports me above everyone else. That is something that I was lacking before, was that I wasn't always chosen. There were other things that always were more important than making sure I was okay physically
Mm.
and mentally. And now I have the truest, most amazing partner I could ever ask for, and a wonderful son, a 21-year-old son that, our kids are about 7 years apart now. So we have three wonderful children and a dog, a gorgeous house. I mean, it's
Wow.
just amazing. So I am. thrilled and want to always shout it out to the world. And I want everyone to know, you can feel this way too. And those people that want to judge and pull you down, it's trauma in them and that they're not dealing with. And I'm a trigger for them. They want to be where people who have done the work and healed are, and they haven't. So I just look at all negativity so differently now. And I have you to thank for that. And I call this my new chapter. And yeah, it's my goal to live my best life and keep doing it.
Amazing. I mean, it's so inspiring. It's been an honor to be, at in a front row view of all the things, just seeing you where you've been back in 2020, and then when you came back in 2024, and where you are now, and just it's just like you're the epitome of joy and happiness and like possibility. And I think that you're exactly right. Is that's going to trigger some people, and it has absolutely nothing to do with you, and it's going to inspire a ton of people as well, which is why I wanted to have you on here today. um, so in closing, let's just say, what would you say, um, if someone was considering checking out coming into my office, or considering doing this kind of chiropractic, what would you say to them if they were maybe on the fence or hesitant, or yeah, anything that comes to you?
I would literally say, do you want to enjoy the rest of your life and have the tools to guide you, and that will allow you to follow your heart and live for yourself and spread joy, live with an open, live with an open heart, be so open to positivity and spreading it, because God knows we all need more positivity in this world. And to feeling, I mean, we didn't even touch upon the fact that I have severe scoliosis and am a runner and have had back pain for years. And when I go and seek care with you, my back pain, I mean, I haven't had it for years. I physically am healed from this treatment. I would have to go, when I did go to the manipulative kind of chiropractic care, I would have to go quite often, once a week to feel good. And when I was 21, they wanted to put, an orthopedic surgeon wanted to do 3 surgeries on my back and told me I probably never walk normally again. So I just dealt with the pain for years. And now I very, very rarely, I mean, it's usually if I fall down the stairs or something happens that I have the back pain, but it's because of something else. I mean, it really, truly, this kind of care heals you inside and out. And the results are absolutely apparent to everyone. And it allows you to really shed. It's almost like you shed this layer of you, like you said, that no longer serves you, whether that be friends, a job, you name it. You really do. It allows you to blossom and flourish into who you're meant to be, and to really, truly appreciate and love life.
Wow. Oh my gosh. Well, I want to just kind of wrap things up now, because I know you've taken out time of your day to be here with us today, and I'm in awe of you, and I am just so honored that I have gotten to be a part of your journey and am a part of your journey, and just the joy that it brings me to see all of the changes and all the shifts from the inside out is just incredible.
Well, thank you so much.
You are so welcome. Well, for those of you who may be interested in exploring what care may be like, I'll put my website in the show notes. And don't hesitate to put in the comments too. Like, if this inspired you or something really stood out for you, put those in the comments. And Jen, thank you so much for being here today, for sharing your inspiring story. And yeah, it was just such a pleasure chatting today.
Thank you so much.
Okay. All right, everyone. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.